A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about the sign of Sagittarius and all that it has to tell to us. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for writing, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments, your suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. When we talk about the sign of Sagittarius, the first thing that strikes us is the very different symbol of it. It's the half man and the half horse. This is the 9th house of the natural zodiac, where a person starts to move towards a spiritual journey. So, the person is trying to let go of his animal nature, very abundant in the horse, and moving towards a higher goal, because the goal of the human existence is to move on to another platform. So, this is a person which will show tendencies. This is a house which will show tendencies of spirituality. Now, depending on which house it is for your Lagna, if it is your 9th house for the Aries Lagna, then it could be your father, because the 9th house represents your father. It could be your brother-in-law, younger brother-in-law or sister-in-law, because it is the 3rd house from the 7th house. It could be your children, because it's the 5th from the 5th, again representing your children, who can show such a nature. It could also be the work ethics of your grandmother or maternal grandfather, because it is representative of the 10th house of your maternal grandfather. So, it can all depict these things, where a person can have a very strong spiritual desire and can move from spiritual, from the basic instinct to a spiritual level, and can heal, can be a good guide and a philosopher. Now, then there comes the fact that the horse is always moving about. It's a very fast moving animal, and it likes to roam freely. Such people can be highly independent. If it is your 4th house, you will find generally that people in your house can be very independent and do not like restrictions. If it's your 7th house, your spouse can be very independent. The spouse would not want anybody putting in, asking questions, being suspicious, because such people value their integrity a lot. So, they don't like to be questioned. If it happens to be your 3rd house, then it could be that your siblings are very independent. They like to travel a lot, because again it's the horse that wants to travel, observe, and the learnings in the case is more through observance, more through actively participating in many things and getting to know about them, searching deeply about things. So, as if it's in your 9th house, then it will take you across pilgrimages and many countries to understand things and to learn new things. If it is in your 3rd house, then you are also going to take short journeys. Your work could be at a different place, and you could be traveling for your work and understanding a lot of things in your process. Again, it's the sign of Sagittarius, which is extremely brutal. They are not brutal, they don't mean to hurt anybody, but they are very truthful. They like to say things as they see it, and in that they do not mince words, they do not mix words. They are very profoundly honest, and as such can hurt people's ego and their sentiments. The best part is they are not bothered about it, not because they are egoistic themselves. They simply do not give that much of thought as to what they have spoken, and they are sometimes you would find that these people have the foot in the mouth syndromes. Why? Because they do not know where they speak, what they speak. Honesty is their best policy, and they like to maintain it so, but they don't realize that many people get hurt in the process. So, again, if it is your 11th house, that is for Aquarius ascendant, you will generally find family members being very close, upfront and honest with each other and saying things as they see, and there can also be a lot of travel associated with it. Again, if it's the Pisces Lagna, so you would find that in your workplace you would have very strong ethics, you would be very open to what you have to say, and you do not mince words, you are honest, and to the point that if it hurts others, you would later on, realizing your mistake, you may say sorry, but then you would have made sure that your point is put across. Also, for your work purpose, you could be traveling to a number of places and learning a lot about their culture in the process. When you talk about the Capricorn Lagna, you would find that these people have a very strong tendency to travel abroad, because essentially the 12th house is all about traveling abroad, and the sign of Sagittarius also gives you an ability to travel. So these people are very much into travel, they want to see, they want to explore, and that is how they would connect to the divine. Spirituality being one of the factors of Sagittarius, and 12th house also talks about divinity. So exploration, traveling will give you a connect with the divinity. When we talk about honesty, their honesty is such that sometimes they have to let go of many relationships. In this way, we can find that these small things for people with Sagittarius, as whichever house it falls for us. Let's say Cancer. Here the ruler of Sagittarius gets exalted, but for Cancer people, this is the 6th house of Rogue Ripurind. So you have to be very careful as to what you speak, because then in that case you can make enemies with people, or your enemies can be upfront and very brutal about you. It is also the house of your maternal relatives. So it can so happen that your maternal relatives could be spread all over the world. It is the 6th house, so you can also, because 6th house also talks about your profession, it also talks about your job. So you could be traveling abroad for your job, you could be traveling to different places for your job. It could also mean that you could be doing research, because that is what the sign of Sagittarius talks about. And you would be very casual with people in your workplace, and with your co-workers, because Sagittarius, as we all know, and I have told you again earlier, they do not like constraints, they do not like people throttling them down. So you would not want to have a very formal behavior or a very formal relationship with your employees or with your co-workers. This is how we happen to understand how the sign of Sagittarius works for all these lagnas. Till we meet with you again, stay safe and do write in and let us know how you found this video. Thank you.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.